I see your demons, I'm telling them it's on sight. I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh. Try to correct me.
Profitable Cleaner Podcast. For those of you that do not know, we got a special guest here today. We're actually been road dogging this week. Really putting on a lot of work and having a lot of conversations for the podcast. And what I mean by that is one of my road dogs here is Mr. Bladimir. Dude, I don't even know your last name.
My last name is Owens.
Dude, you have the whitest name.
I do.
Bladimir Owens.
I really do.
Bladimir freaking Owens. Bladimir is de Mexicano de El Paso, Texas.
Yeah.
When I first met Bladimir, it was like 10:30 at night, Dallas, Texas, floor 1 of one of the most beautiful buildings in all of the Texas Metroplex. And I had to go 20 floors down on this elevator to let the podcast guy in. And the podcast guy, all I knew his name was, I thought it was Vladimir, like Vladimir Putin, for like the first month I knew him. And so I knew his name was Vladimir, and I knew he was from El Paso, and I knew he was our new podcast producer. That's all I knew. And so, long story short, I meet him, and he was like so down. He was like,
I was tired.
So the first thing I said to him, I said, "¿Cómo vas, mi amigo?" And he said, "What's up?" And we did this very silent elevator ride up 20 floors to our podcast studio. And the entire time I'm thinking, this guy's from El Paso City, Texas. He probably speaks Spanish. Maybe I can make a commonality and try to speak some Spanish with them. And literally, I'd be like, ¿Cómo estás? I'm good. And I'd be like, ¿Cómo te llamo? Vladimir. And like, it was like, he kept responding to me in English. So I was like, does this guy not speak Spanish? But then I'm like, he understands everything I'm saying, but he's responding in English. I'm like, this guy's kind of a jerk.
You probably thought I was a fucking asshole.
And I was like, this guy's kind of a jerk. So long story short, we did a full week of podcasts, and over that week got the chance to know Vladimir, really cool guy. And the reason I wanted to bring this to you guys is because behind the scenes, there's two people we should really recognize. Miss Andrea Garcia in Spain, and Mr. Bladimir Owens from El Paso, Texas. And he's the one, if you guys follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, and you see all of our shorts, our reels, our clips, Vladimir's the guy that edits those. Andrea's the one that kind of helps come up with creative ideas with Vladimir and how to promote and market those. And they're really the team that makes it go. And they make my job here at the Profitable Cleaner very easy. And for the ones that have joined our profit advisory group, our mastermind, you guys have seen promotional videos for that. Some of you guys have done content days for that. Blad does all the content for the profit advisory group. If you're not a member of that, you should be. Hit the link in the show notes. You're not going to regret it. Get inside a room full of team full of leaders. But with that being said, I wanted to put a face to the name with Blad. So, Mr. Bladimir Owens, buenvenido, amigo.
Glad to be here, bro. Always happy to be there. Like working with you locally. Whenever I'm in town with you, it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
Actually, going back to that, we said we've been road dogging this week. So basically, Blad flies out here right now. We're sitting literally in the basement of Mikasa right now. And he flew out here this week, and I think we've done, like, by the time tomorrow ends, do a total of 9-10 podcasts with a bunch of other B-roll and content on top of that. And so this guy dedicates his life to content creation. And I know that there's a lot of business owners that listen to our podcast that wonder if content should be a piece of their business, and if it should, how do we do it and all that. So I guess, Blad, I'll just start here, man, like I do with everyone. What's your story?
What's up, my profitable leaders? I know you're listening to this show because you want to stay informed and on top of your game. And I want to bring you something that is often overlooked, and that's how we mitigate risk and actually protect our business, whether that's with misclassification of our employees, contract litigation, immigration law, because we have people that work for us that are from other countries that maybe or maybe aren't misclassified. That's why we partnered with Campos Law. Campos Law is a humanized law firm, as I would put them. They are more than just expert attorneys. They're people looking to help people and business owners just like you. So when it comes to your contract setup, when it comes to your classification of your employees, when it comes to just protecting your business as a true asset, which it is why you should be talking with Campos Law. So for more information, click the link in these show notes and get a partner like Campos Law on your side.
How did you get here right now, today?
Well, I booked a plane ticket, and then I get on the plane, and it brings me.
You get in a tube that flies 2,000 feet in the air. I get the logistics.
No, just kidding. Yeah, no.
I grew up in El Paso.
Yeah, so I grew up in El Paso, and then for a brief time lived in Mexico, and then we came back to the U.S., back to El Paso, and then I finished up like high school. I got like a bunch of little random local jobs. Didn't like them. Decided to go to West Texas, like a lot of people in El Paso do. But West Texas is like Midland. Get an oil job, and out there I got a job offer from someone, and I moved out to Dallas. And I was out there. I don't even know how long. I think I was there for like 5 years. I met my girl. Moved her out there with me, and yeah, I was out in Dallas for another like 4 years.
By the way, this guy's a Dallas historian.
Yeah,
I went to Dallas. I've been to Dallas. I've spent like probably a total of like 2.5 weeks with you in Dallas doing podcasts and editing content. And this guy freaking knows everything about Dallas.
Dude, it's because I fell in love with this city. I fell in love with Dallas. I don't think a lot of people would like. I mean, I tell everybody all the time, dude, I love Dallas. They look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Some people like the country. Some people like bigger cities or other cities.
Dallas is a beautiful place.
Yeah, they're like, what? I mean, I would understand Las Vegas. I would understand LA.
No, bro.
But I'm like, nah, bro. Dallas.
If there was anywhere right now I would even consider packing up and moving my life, it would be to Dallas.
I fucking love Dallas.
But anyway, so like, how'd you get into content though? So like, for the real fast. So like, not only are you a videographer, you're an editor, you're a producer, you have a big passion for cars in that industry. Like, what brought you the content? Like, and you're a great photographer.
Thank you. No, dude, that actually does mean a lot. Even if I hear it like 1,000 times, I'm probably always gonna say thank you. Like if I heard it for the first time. But no, yeah. So what brought me to content creation in general was I'm gonna say my age real quick. Hopefully by the time you guys see this, I'm still 29. But I'm 29, so I grew up with like the internet, and I grew up like in a weird time in the internet because a lot of stuff was like not as safe as it is now, you know. And I grew up at the time where like we would see all those prank videos, but those prank videos that were like somebody dying, and then it would be like, you don't know if that's real or not.
What was like that guy's name?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there were a bunch of content creators at that time.
Yeah, they were doing that, like people faking deaths and stuff, and some of them could have been real. And I don't think a lot of them were even like told to be not real. But for me, it was like the wow factor of like what a video could do. Like if a video could make me feel like that, I want to make a really dope video that can make other people feel like that. not in that aspect of faking deaths or whatever, but just in general, like an impactful video. And I left it alone for a bit. I think I made my first video when I was like 18 and left it alone until I was like 22. Like, there was like a need with a friend of mine who was a musician in Dallas. He was like, bro, I can't get anybody to shoot my music. I was like, you know what? I'll save up for a camera. And I haven't really told this story to a lot of people, but
What's up, my profitable cleaners? Listen, you guys know that running a cleaning business isn't just about cleaning. It's about growth, trust, building a legacy, and making true impact. That's where Swept comes in. With Swept, it's simple, powerful. It's an app that you can track your cleaner attendance with geofence clock-ins, streamlined processes, team communication, and save hours on payroll. It's the ultimate tool designed specifically for janitorial businesses just like yours. Take control, save time, focus on what matters most, growing your business and spending time with your family. Swept. Clean better, grow faster. If you guys are interested in Swept, click the link below in the show notes and partner with one of the best in the industry.
when I finally bought the camera, we were out shooting this video, and my boy was like involved with like a bunch of bad people. We end up getting like set up, and we get shut down for like our shit, and they take the camera.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it was like super heartbreaking. But since my friend was connected, he knew who did it. He calls up like big homie, and he tells him, "Hey, bro, this happened. This is who did it." Like a week later, big homie calls us. We go to his house, super like in the hood, and then he's like, "Hey, this is your stuff, right? Camera bag, everything's intact." Gives it back to me, and I was like, "Dude, what the fuck just happened?" You know? And I was like, "Dude, I wish I could have like filmed this whole thing, like this whole interaction." And
I was like thinking,
yeah, dude, and yeah, like I don't know. I think it was like at that moment that I knew it was like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I felt like God was giving me a second chance because I was ready to give up. I was like, I'm not gonna do this again. I get another camera. I want to shoot music videos because that's kind of like what I was gonna start with. Because to me, music videos now are like a very creative thing to do. And for me, growing up watching movies like nonstop, cinematography and like directing picture of like everything is like, it's everything to me. Everything. I watch movies, but I don't watch movies like how everyone does. Like I look at everything, like the color, the way that the sound is, the little grain effect, like everything. And so that's what steered me to trying to do like music videos with my friend. And it was, the situation happened, get the camera back, and I was like, nah, I'm doing this shit. Like I'm gonna go all in. Over time, I kind of started getting better. A lot of my stuff was shit. A lot of my stuff was shit. A lot of my stuff you guys probably never see. But, dude, I kind of knew that like content creation was gonna be like the thing, because at that time, I think I was like what 22. YouTube had started doing like the ad partnerships, and I really wanted to get into that. So I started doing vlogs, and then my girl was like, "Nah, you shouldn't do them because I feel like you're gonna put your whole life online. People are not gonna like respect your privacy if it does blow up, whatever." And I kind of was like, you know what? You're right. I should stick to like what I'm doing. I'm making a little bit of money here and there. And then I've always been a car guy, so I was like in my head, how come I've never shot cars? And then I went to YouTube, started watching a bunch of car videos, and I was like, dude, these guys make some really crazy stuff. And watching all the after movies and everything, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move away from music videos because in Dallas, shooting music videos is like, it's pretty dangerous. It's not what it looks if you ever see anything from like Big X the Plug or like any other local Dallas rapper,
yeah, I'm from Texas.
Dude. And yeah, no, it's definitely not It's not what people think, and it's dangerous. Like, but moving to cars, it was like super safe. Like,
Well, I know it sounds like that's what you were like already passionate about.
yeah,
So probably seems seamless.
yeah. So, but the thing that sucked about going to cars is that there's always like trends. There's like certain trends people follow, and it always falls in and out of the cinematography aspect of it because visual effects, like 3D effects and stuff like that, became like a big thing. So I kind of stopped doing like the car stuff because the content wasn't really like blowing up. Like if you were just shooting,
Just like content in general, there's always like these excitements. Right?
yeah, there's
Like content in general.
yeah, there's always been like a trend, but where it really picked up was when content went vertical. Like,
Explain that to the audience.
okay, so you guys are seeing this on YouTube, so the video is horizontal. But if you're seeing clips of this, you're probably seeing them vertical,
Like on Instagram.
like on Instagram, YouTube Shorts. Mm-hmm. Once content went vertical, and like TikTok became like a really big platform, dude, attention span went out the door. Like, you still have to make videos that are like 5 seconds. Because in reality, like, you don't make a good video in those 5 seconds. Anything after, people are probably not going to give it.
They're just
Yeah, they're just doom scrolling.
doom scrolling.
Yeah, dude, they're just doom scrolling. Like, this doesn't catch my eye in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Like, they're just.
So let's break this down a little bit more then. So we have BSCs and service providers listening to this. Like, they're thinking, is content even for me? What would you say to someone like that? In like what we would call like a boring, unsexy business, like janitorial, HVAC, facility services, the trades.
What's up, Profitable Cleaner listeners? Quick question for you. Are you using 5 to 7 different platforms just to manage the everyday operations of your commercial cleaning company? If so, let us help you consolidate that into one platform. Introducing you uSource. Go to usource.com, book your free demo today, and actually get started on your trial for 60 days. No charge for 60 days, all from time and attendance to reporting, vendor management, operations, sales. It's time you stop using 5 to 7 platforms and consolidate into one. So listeners, don't forget, go to usource.com and start your account today.
Okay. So what I would say, if you're a person that doesn't quite understand like social media content, vertical content, like those terms and stuff like that, it's okay. Like, it's definitely okay to not understand it. What I would encourage you to try to understand is that we've been in like a consumer economy, I believe, since COVID. Like, ever since COVID became a thing, like so many people like are just consuming so much content. Like, I think that's when it really like became like a consumer economy, in my opinion. I think that you should do yourself a favor and just try to get into it.
So
Try to get your business into it. Try to just do something. Because how do you start? I mean, the way that I've been told, starting off as a young photographer, young videographer, is pick up the camera that you already have. And a lot of you guys already have a phone. Your guys or girls, you guys can all just pick up your phone, set it somewhere, and just record something. Whether you want to give advice, give a piece of information, film a misconception that you want to like fix in your industry. And I think that's what will actually like work for you. I think you should just try it.
This is how I look at it too, man. Is like, I think some people, disregard your thoughts on like Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, but I actually think he's got some good shit, especially when it comes to like content creation. He says a few good things. Like, one, frequency is way more important than perfection and quality. Like, be frequent with your content and be consistent with it. And then, of course, get professionals like you to create the content. But like, even if you're just starting out like on this and like you're actually given high value stuff, that's going to work. Number 2 is don't be discouraged by the number of views you get early on. So like if someone watches this and only 12 people watch this, from an online perspective, we might say that was an utter failure, an utter failure. But if I had 12 people right now listening to us in a room, and that's 12 new connections or 12 new people that you've just been able to give value to, that would be a success, right? And then I guess the third piece, and I'm curious to your thoughts on all of this, is put yourself in the viewer's perspective. Like, this isn't about you. I wanted to get you on here to talk about content because I know people will head into 2025 or whenever they see this and say, here's content for me. I'm in a boring industry, but I see other people doing content. What's the ROI? How do we measure it? So put yourself in the viewer's perspective.
In the viewer's perspective, most of the people are kind of like steered into the stigma of like, if this video doesn't have like 10,000 views, why am I going to watch it? You know? Or if you make your content and you're only getting like 5 views, 10 views, 4 likes, whatever, I think you got to but you got to get yourself in the mindset of more like, it's kind of like a long game because, yeah, it's a long game because the real return on investment of the content you're going to be putting out is you got to think about it like this. You create 50 videos, right? And your whole goal on those videos is to educate. Or who knows, you're trying to get some leads. You're trying to get, I don't know, just something out of it, right? People really are just always trying to get like an ROI on something. The way you should really be looking at it is getting better at making the video, because the quality of the stuff you're making, the substance that you're making, and the engagement that keeps going up while you're like making more and more videos only goes up because somebody finds you on your 100th video. At that point, you're like really good at it, or you have your own like style, your own niche like subject and shit. People are going to go back and look at all your other stuff. Who knows? You might have picked like video number 3 was like a banger and you blew up on like video 100.
I'm going to stop you there. Actually, you just did the prime example. So actually, I'm going to have Blad sitting here, timestamp this stuff, put up a screenshot of our first video, my first video on this channel, and it was like garbage, right? But the third video is why it basically is like why vendor lists can still be a good sales opportunity. I went 15 minutes on that topic, and when I look at our downloads on the podcast, that one now gets downloaded more and more and more. And it's because we're now 3 years into this and we have hundreds of thousands of downloads now. But that third video did have quality content, was totally overlooked. But like this last year, like blew up in downloads because it got found. And the long game is hard, man. If you're in business, you should know about the long game because you're probably playing it right now. But I'll give you guys some perspective. We've been doing this 3 years. Started out on Zoom from my really shitty laptop, from an unfinished office, evolved to, we did Zoom like the first year, evolved to interviewing guests. Then we got Andrea involved trying to do clips and captions and things like that. It wasn't until year two and a half that we even went in person to doing podcasts.
I didn't know that.
To a studio. And it wasn't until then we worked with a producer, and then through that we kind of found you. So like literally last year was our first time really doing a studio and that whole setup. And now we got like a producer like full time, which is crazy. We have sponsors because we have an audience that we want to bring people to good products and services in the industry. So we're 3 years into this. All of that sounds really cool. Like, okay, if I do this for 3 years, I can have maybe a couple thousand followers and a couple 100,000 downloads and some sponsors. I've never made $1 from this podcast. But what I have made is insurmountable amount of connections, learning. Like, I have the most selfish job in the world. I get to sit next to people like you and learn. Like, are you kidding me? And then I have access to people I typically wouldn't have access to. And we've now built like this niche little community. Get involved in the profit advisory board, and you're going to see what I mean by that. But it's been huge, man.
Yeah, it's been really fun filming for Profit Advisory Board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I like the podcast, it's really cool, but the idea of just like flying to the company, meeting like their staff and hearing their story. Because don't get me wrong, dude. Like, at the event, the Cleaning Profits, I met a lot of cool people. I mean, with you guys, I always meet a lot of cool people, like the guests and stuff. But
badass community.
yeah, dude, you guys,
This freaking podcast.
yeah, exactly. And you know why? Because even if you guys got 20 listens, 10 listens, you guys kept putting the episodes out because you guys just knew that you guys were like doing the right thing, you know?
Well said.
Yeah, and I think that's what another thing I would touch on for you, a person who doesn't do content or hasn't gotten into content. I think what a lot of people don't understand is that it's not about the views. It's really about the engagement. It's about the engagement you have with someone and the interaction that happens because of the video. Don't get discouraged if you don't get either of those, if you don't get the view or the engagement. Like I said, as long as you keep yourself consistent, algorithm is going to pick you up. And at some point, it's going to spit your stuff out to like 100,000 people. And then 10% of that, 10K? 10K are going to be like true followers. Maybe another 1,000 of those are going to be like the diehard followers and like fans. They're going to go back and like all your shit.
All right, I know you guys are wondering, how can we keep our cleaning crews engaged and informed and it doesn't have to feel like a struggle? With Team Engine, you can now automate messages, update teams in real time, and bridge language gaps with their built-in AI-powered translations. Whether it's scheduling, last-minute changes, or sharing critical updates, Team Engine keeps your workforce connected and productive. Say goodbye to miscommunication and hello to smoother operations. Visit teamengine.io to get started today.
Yeah.
You know?
Or they're going to become customers, right? And then you're going to gain a different level of authority within your industry or your market. So since YouTube, you are listening to this, spit us out to the algorithm, to the 100,000 people he's talking about, because right now we're being spit to a few thousand. But dude, that's well said. Dude, I have one last question for you, man, on terms of content. And I feel like I wouldn't be doing us justice if we did like a full-on hour and a half episode, because I want to do that in a real professional setting where I can come better prepared to really talk to you about this stuff. But right now, we're heading into 2025. And again, I think it's important to give that context, because this will release, who knows when in 2025. But right now, as it sits, we're heading into 2025. Where do you see like the content evolution going over the next year?
Over the next year, I mean, yeah, man, it's kind of hard to tell because I guess it's going to sound weird by the time this releases, right? Because we don't know if it happened or not, if TikTok got banned or not. There's going to be another platform. If it gets banned, this is my prediction. Or if it already happened, you let me know.
Drop a comment below.
Yeah, there's going to be another platform that comes up similar to it. But I think what will end up happening is we're in general in life, not just content. We're in a shift. Like, companies are going unwoke. Long format is coming back.
Nice.
And horizontal content is performing better than vertical in some platforms.
Really?
Yeah. Like
that?
YouTube stuff. Like, yeah.
I also see that on X, actually.
Dude, yes.
Like, X is really hitting their content game like to a different level right now.
Well, let me just say this about X. Elon is trying to build a YouTube competitor. So I think this is just my opinion, but I could be wrong. He's pushing out a lot of like the smaller creators to put their stuff on X so that they can like come back and get followers. And then he pitches them like the membership because you get like way better stuff with the membership. And I think that's really what's going on there.
But if you like, so I'm a huge X fan. I'm not saying your business should be on X. I think this is probably more for like the solo entrepreneurs and actual content creators and like thought leaders. Like I think thought leadership's coming back, which is good. Less coaching and more thought leadership that has substance. But like X, you are right, dude. Like you can see someone with like 2,000 followers on X, and they're putting out like they might be a CEO of or an owner of an HVAC company. They're not putting out blogs about their HVAC company. They're talking about the P&L on their business or their churn on their residential household on this specific route and what they're doing to combat that. And they're doing it in forms of long form content, threads, like what they call threads on X, and then just like high engagement. And then they're getting paid because they're a creator because they have more than 5 million impressions. So I think it's dude, I actually do think Elon's kind of given smaller thought leaders and creators a voice.
He definitely is.
And so if you're a CEO or an owner, ambitious entrepreneur, screw the company brand. If you're looking for personal brand, I would go all in on X and play, let's say long game being 6 months of consistency and like, you're going to win.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And if you're super liberal, go to Blue Sky from
Oh, that's right. I forgot. No, yeah, I don't want to get all political and all that. But in regardless of your party preference or like the things you believe in, the content's gonna be there regardless. Whatever's gonna fit your style, you know. And everything's marketing. Everything in content is marketing. Like, you guys could probably not spend a dime on your marketing, and you guys are killing the game. But imagine if you put yourself out there. Imagine you put yourself out there to that one person who's like the client that is like your dream client that can replace your 5 headache clients. You know what I mean? Something like that.
It's content with intention, right? And if you're a janitorial company, like, man, these guys are talking to like Gen Zers. Yeah, maybe we are. But I'll tell you what, we've used content in pretty mundane businesses to help push deals forward after a proposal sent. Hey, here's a thought on from our CEO talking about how we onboard new clients, things like that. Like little short form videos like that do get watched and do get a lot of credibility. My company's my primary company, Power Placing, we have a brand video of our team talking about like the virtual setup between Latin America and US companies. That video today, we paid like $500 for from a really good editor. That $500, I can't even tell you how many times we've 100x that, because that's with every proposal we send.
That's so,
and it puts a face to the name of the people that we're working, right?
Yeah.
So like another way to utilize content in a mundane way.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, if you could talk about that, but you just did it on your own. Because I know we talked about it earlier where you can make a content, attach it to your proposals, like your wins or your customer, like what is it called again? Like if you get testimonials, customer success videos, testimonials, like it's good for you to do that. Like it reinforces like your credibility. And I think nowadays especially, and I don't even know how 25 is gonna be, but your credibility is like has to be so like I don't know how to explain it. It just has to be rock solid.
Well, it's gotta be genuine too.
Yeah, it's gotta be rock solid, genuine.
All of that. All right, bro. Here we go. Okay, I gotta kick my feet up for this last question here, bro. 2025. This video is gonna come out in 2025. So I need you, the audience's help, right here, right now. Mr. Bladimir Owens, what's your 2025 resolution for yourself?
Resolution.
And how we need your help is when this video comes out, we're going to see if he's actually follows through with it.
My resolution is to just be more consistent at the gym again. Because I heard you say it earlier where like you want to have a good mind, you have to follow that with a good physical, like
That's right. You want to change your mental state. It starts with your physical state.
that.
It's
So I want to do that. And then I want to be more consistent myself with like vlogging, because it's been a passion of mine for like a while. I just haven't kept up with it because I've been so busy.
once your vlog, drop it.
I don't have like a vlog thing, but I've been dropping it on my Instagram. I go by Action Bladson, mostly because it has a bunch of meanings.
We mostly link people on this show, but we'll choose not to link him this time. So
Just kidding. This guy.
yeah, click the link below. Guys.
Yeah.
Give Vlad a follow. He makes awesome content. He's a genuine person, and if you guys enjoy our content here on our show, a lot of it is brought to you by Mr. Bladimir Owens. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
2025 wants to get back in shape, get back in the gym. So when this video comes out, drop a comment and say, homie check, are you there? And let's see how many comments we get of accountability for Black.
Need accountability, man.
You're going to do it, man. You're going to do it. So thank you, guys. Mr. Bladimir Owens, face to the name. Behind the curtain has been pulled. And until next time, más buenos amigos.
I see your demons, I'm telling them it's on sight. I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray.